It is Monday night, and we are live once again for round number 3 of the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series tonight. The Jeff by Jr. Art 75 from the Milwaukee Mile. I'm Jeff by Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the broadcast booth. And Bill, we got 25 of the best fixed setup late model drivers ready to go in the premier fixed setup late model, super late model racing league on iRacing. And we are set for action. Practice still underway, and a heck of a field tonight. Very, very fast.
Yeah, a lot of fast guys tonight, Jeff. And I think we scared them. Only 25 cars tonight here at Milwaukee. A lot of stuff happening here at In the Zone Racing. We saw our Tuesday night issues, so we might have scared some of these guys. We're not taking any prisoners this season. If you're going to mess around in either one of our series, you're gone. So this one, Jeff, not an issue. We had a great race last week at Stafford, and we're about to go racing once again. On the top of the board in practice, the guy that won last week, Alex McCollum, looking to defend that victory as he is quick time so far in practice. But Jeff, like you said, a lot of fast guys here tonight, and Milwaukee Mile, a place that we're not used to going.
Yeah, kind of a track that hasn't been on the schedule for a while. Jackson Lewis sitting second on the board. We haven't seen much out of Jackson. This is only about his third or fourth race with the series, and he's sitting second on the board right now, 29.408 to McCollum's 29.345. So he's the closest guy to McCollum at this point. Another newcomer to the series, Josh Cottle. He's sitting third on the board. Parker Traves fourth, and then our defending series champion, Thomas Axum, sitting fifth right now.
Yeah, I remember racing here, Jeff. This one either can be really, really fun or really, really boring, right? The Milwaukee Mile, you can get strung out here pretty easily, but it is going to be a tire battle tonight. These guys only get one set of tires, 75 laps to run here. Well, 75 miles, I guess we would call it, Jeff, as Barney's got the checkered flag out here in practice. But you have to save your tires here at Milwaukee, or else you're not going to have anything left in the end of the run. And we're looking for probably green flag runs here tonight, Jeff. A lot of green flag racing.
Yeah, we looking back at the last two races here, and actually the only two races here for the late model shootout series, they were quite a while ago, back to season 1 and season 3 of this iteration of the series. Both those races went caution free, so I would expect at least long green flag runs tonight, if not this thing going caution free for a third time. So yeah, I mean, setting a pace and maintaining the tires. This is such the corners are so long and so they carry on for so long that it's going to be really easy to abuse the tires, especially if you start sliding the car at all. It's really going to be difficult to maintain a quick pace and maintain the tires. So practice is over. We're heading into qualifying right now. Drivers starting to take to the racetrack. They're going to have 3 minutes to lay down their two best laps on the racetrack. We're going to take everybody to tonight's feature event. All 25 drivers will start, and we're going to start seeing lap times come across as these guys go for the International Short Track Association Quick Time Award.
Long laps here at Milwaukee. You needed to get out on the racetrack and get out there fast. Only 3 minutes in qualifying, so these guys have to run out there and get their laps done quickly. Parker Traves will go P1 in the 60 car. He will stay there for the moment. We have times coming in. Josh Cottle go P2 in the 13 machine. Corey Bigley goes P4. Axum P3. Kelsey Rogers jumps up. Now Daniel Pope up to P4. Jackson Lewis P2. Times coming in fast and furious here. Alex McCollum goes P1 on the board.
Yeah, new quick lap for Alex McCollum, 29.412. He's going to be one and done. I did hear some of the other drivers saying that they were going to try for 2 laps. They were a little bit faster on their second lap, so it took a little bit for him to get heat in the tires. And we'll see how that plays out. Currently, Josh Coddleson, fourth. Grayson Ward, now second, 29.495. And as I say that, Jackson Lewis's second lap bumps him back into the second position, 29.491 for Jackson.
Grayson Ward still on the racetrack. He's running his second lap. Jackson Lewis was quicker on his second lap. Just 78 thousandths of a second slower than Alex McCollum. Del Mears on the racetrack. He would go P12 in the 112 car. Eric Tracy, he's still out there. He was P16. See if he does any better on his second lap. He does not. He'll stay P16. Actually make that P14. It took a minute for it to bump up. Oh, Ledbetter goes P8. Grayson Ward up to P3. That sends Parker Traves back to P4.
Remember, if you're hanging out with us on Facebook, if you're watching live, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for. Make sure you like and share that stream. Let your friends know you're watching some sim racing tonight. A lot of stuff going on in the sim world, obviously, with the iRacing Pro Series deal going on tonight. But we appreciate everybody that's hanging out watching, especially those on the Elite Performance Industries page. Thank you for hanging out. And it is official. Alex McCollum is your quick qualifier for tonight, and he is going to have an invert to deal with as well. So we'll talk about that in a few, but we're going into our final warm-up session.
Yeah, we talked about trying to get rid of the fast dash, Jeff, or the slow dash, excuse me, where we have a B main that nobody needs to run tonight. We were taking enough cars out of qualifying that we do not have to run run the slow dash. We're trying to figure it out so that we don't have to run it for the rest of the season. It makes no sense to run a B main when all these guys are already in the race. So tonight, we're just going to go straight into the 2-minute warm-up session. Just give these guys an opportunity to go around the track one more time before we hit the grid for the A-main event. 7 cars inverted tonight, Jeff, so that'll make Alex McCollum start P7 on the field. And it's going to be, passing's going to be at a premium here at Milwaukee.
Yeah, and as we said, we haven't really seen this track on the schedule, and so interesting stat that came up, and I'm looking here at the field. Hugo Paquette, last winner here, not here with us. Dylan, or it's can't remember who won the first one now. Dalton Collins was the winner of the very first one here. No longer with the series, but Bill, there's only 3 guys in here tonight that have ever had a top 5 in the late model shootout series, and 2 of them are sitting in the booth. That's me and you.
Hey!
Yeah, I finished second, Hugo Paquette. You finished 5th with Dalton Collins picking up the win. And the other one is Peter Fisher. Peter Fisher finished in the top 5 of late model shootout series race here.
So Peter Fisher in the field tonight, but he is dealing with an injury to one of his hands. So I think Peter's going to be a start and Parker on the field. And Jeff, I do want to make a comment on that 5th place that I had. I completely burned the tires off the car.
Yeah, I do remember Hugo Paquette getting out to a large lead, and I believe it was probably over 20 seconds, and then I kind of reeled him in at the end just because of tire wear and such. And it's just a long race here. Those previous races, we only went 50 laps. We're going 75 tonight, so it's even longer than it's been in the past. No tire changes. You got one set to deal with, and you got to make it work for 75 laps.
Yeah, I was not good at that when, or maybe even now. I don't know. It's been so long since I've driven this car to race. But I burned the tires. So I think that's going to happen tonight. I think we might see some cars burn some tires up, and we'll see these cars, what do they call them, comers and goers, as they guys that move to the front later and some that fall to the back. We'll see as those tires start to wear if some guys start to slip or make their way forward. So I think it's going to be fun to watch all night long.
Yeah, and if you were wondering how long ago it was that we ran the Milwaukee Mile in this series, well, it was back when me, Bill, and Peter Fisher were fast, so a long time ago.
What? Wait a minute. That's not right. All right. Grid is on the racetrack, Jeff.
Here we go for tonight's Jeff by Junior Art 75 here at the Milwaukee Mile, starting on the pole. Your 7th place qualifier going to hit that invert. Your reigning, defending series champion Thomas Axum will start from the front row. On the outside of him, newcomer to this series, the 13, that's Josh Cottle.
Starting 3rd in the 31 machine. This man has 2 podium finishes in the first 2 races of the season. He's going to start 3rd tonight in the 31 car. That's Daniel Pope. Starting on his outside in the number 60, it's Parker Traves.
Starting in the 5th spot tonight will be the 9 car of Grayson Ward. On the outside of him, we saw this guy have a lot of speed in practice. It's the 7 of Jackson Lewis.
Starting in the 7th position in the number 8, last week's winner, and he's the International Short Track Racers Association Quick Time Award winner tonight. It's the 8 car, Alex McCollum. And to his outside in the number 78 machine, another fast driver, it's Bo Ledbetter.
Starting 9th tonight, this guy just came off a fantastic run at Stafford, his best ever in the late model shootout series. It's the 34, Kelsey Rogers. On the outside of him in the 10th spot will be the 28, that's Corey Bigley.
Starting in the 11th position, he's a veteran of the series in the Mountain Dew machine, the number 30 car, it's Will Dravicki. And to his outside side, starting 12th in the number 18, it's the kid, Caden Fisher.
Starting 13th tonight will be the 91. That's Dylan Bates on the outside of him. And the 112, that's Dale Mears.
Starting 15th in the number 67. That's where you'll find the Superior Performance Motorsports number 67. That's Eric Tracy. And to his outside, in the 17 car in the Velocity Motorsports machine, it's AJ Rogers.
Starting 17th tonight in the 24, it'll be Colby Bryant on the outside of him. This is a home race for this guy. The 42, it's Super Zach Onen.
Starting in the 19th position in the 65 machine, it is Aaron Abendroth, and to his outside in the number 21, that's Aaron Johnson.
Elliot Carlson will start 21st tonight on the outside of him. In the number 25, it'll be Devin Rogers.
Starting 23rd, we talked about the injuries he's got to his hand, so he might not stay in the field for very long. He's starting 23rd in the 71, that's Peter Fisher. And to his outside in the 24, it's your current points leader. Didn't get a qualifying effort in this race. In the 54 machine, that's Cole Cabry.
And starting 25th on this grid in the final row will be the 81, the ravishing one, Rick Rube. Well, Bill, we are set to go. 25 cars strong here for 75 laps. The Milwaukee Mile. Pace car lights are off, and we're going to go one more lap, set them green. Do you want to go ahead and take a pick tonight? Who do you think is going to win this one?
Nope. Don't want to take a pick. I have no idea. This one is this one can be I would say this is the most oddball race. Nope, it's not. Next week will be more oddball than this. But to pick cars in this race, let's say Alex McCollum is off limits. Let's do that because I think that's fair, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, even though he's starting seventh. Let's go somewhere different. Let's try a different one here. Let's say the number 7 car. He's starting 6th. We're gonna go Jackson Lewis.
Well, I'm gonna go to the guy who keeps telling me every week I'm gonna be junked tonight. I'm looking at that 31 car starting third. It is Daniel Pope. He told me again tonight, I'm not going to be very good tonight. And look at him. He's starting third tonight in that top 5 to start in a great spot. I'm going to go with Daniel Pope. His pace car is going to head off the racetrack. Thomas Axum going to take his green flag racing.
Green flag. Actually, we did not. Oh, there it goes. It's a late duck. So the pace car's off. Axum on the loud pedal. He's going to get a nice jump over Josh Cottle. Here comes Daniel Pope and Parker Traves. They'll be side by side down into turn number 1. 1-2 for your top 2 spots. They'll be single file, side by side battling between Pope and Traves.
Teammates there battling hard for the 3rd spot right off the bat. Here comes Jackson Lewis. He got shot out of a cannon. He's already up in the 5th. He was giving the bumper to the 31, trying to push him along on the inside line. Thomas Axum is starting to get away with Josh Cottle. Now Pope going to be able to clear the 60 of Traves. Here comes Jackson Lewis. Here comes Grayson Ward in the 9 now.
Do you see them dancing off of turn number 4, Jeff? Loose race cars here on these early cold tires. And you know the way we do the setups here in the super late model, it has to be a little bit loose early or else it's going to be super tight late, and nobody likes that. So these cars probably dancing all over the track right now as these guys try to find a handle on it.
Field starting to get spread out, mostly single file now as Parker Traves has fallen in line behind Alex McCollum. And looks like Daniel Pope under pressure. Here comes Jackson Lewis. Lewis just firing off very nicely. He is already taking a look under Pope into turn 1. Pope's going to shut the door, keep him at bay for the time being.
Didn't look like Jackson had much of a run there as they went down into turn number 1. Just poked the nose under, see if Pope would give him room. Pope did not. But if you watched Pope's hands coming off of turn number 4, you could see that car dancing all over the place. He was back and forth. You can see the hands right now. We'll watch him as he comes off at turn number 4. He's got those white gloves, actually like orange gloves. You can see it moving back and forth. That car's just a little bit loose for the 31 machine.
Watching the Facebook chat, Jeff By Sr. in the house. He chose Thomas Axum, so he's going to go with the guy set on the pole tonight. Thomas Axum out to a nice, healthy start right now. 0.3 of a second lead over Josh Cottle, Daniel Pope, Jackson Lewis, Grayson Ward, your top 5. If you're wondering about Alex McCollum, he's still sitting in that 6th position ahead of Parker Traves, Bo Ledbetter, and Corey Bigley. Caden Fisher currently your top 10. And I keep watching Cole Cabry. He started 24th. He is already up to 16th. He just got around Eric Tracy, move him up into the 15th spot. He is flying through the field right now. Reagan Parent.
Just trying to look for Cole Cabry there, Jeff. I couldn't find him in the field. He was back in the middle there, and I was having a hard time tracking him, but I've got him now. We see the 54 coming through the field now. He's got a little bit of a gap in front of him. That's Dylan Bates in the 91 and Will Dravicki in the 30. Like you said, he is moving forward in that number 54 car.
Reagan Parent in the chat. He is cheering for Jackson Lewis, and Jackson really starting to push the pace here. He's making Daniel Pope start to chase down Cottle, and so maybe putting the pressure to the 31, trying to set an early pace. And He is kind of forcing the 31 to maybe pick up the pace a little bit more than maybe he wants to right now. No saving, I don't think, for the 7 car.
Here comes Grayson Ward as well in the 9. You see Axum with a really low exit off of turn number 4. Again, this is going to be so much fun all night, Jeff. You can see the lines, the different lines through the corner. Everybody on the bottom, but everybody takes a different approach on how to get there and how to get off of the corner. So it's going to be fun all night long to watch to see what these guys are doing and how it affects their cars as we move forward.
Yeah, and surprisingly, nobody's really fallen off the pace either. Cole Cabrey, he's currently running the 14th spot. He's just 3.8 seconds back from the leader. So, I mean, everybody's still bunched up, and really nobody's separating from each other right now. As Cabrey underneath Dylan Bates, he's going to look for the 13th position. He is just flying through this field early.
Underneath Bates goes the 54 car. I thought about it, Jeff, as he was starting way back in the back of the field after not getting a qualifying effort. What to find out from Cole if we get a chance to talk to him why he didn't qualify tonight. But started all the way in the back of the field. Maybe it's a shot at the Hard Charger Award. What do you think?
Possibly, and I can tell you the guy that's leading the Hard Charger Award, that's Hugo Paquette. He's up 17 positions on the season. They all came in that first race. He is not here tonight, so a chance for somebody to take over. Blaze Brinkley, he was second in that. He's not here tonight as well, so Del Mears sitting third. A chance for Dell to maybe gain some spots, take over the lead in that Hard Charger Award, which basically carries over for the full season.
Exactly, it is for the full season. That's how many cars you can pass all season long. Like Speed Concepts, check them out. They are sponsoring our $50 for the season Hard Charger Award, which is a really cool award. It's just the guy that is the most, I won't say aggressive, but the guy that makes the most passes all season long. He's going to get a $50 bonus at the end of the season, which is fantastic. Wilson Vicky getting super loose off of turn number 2. Here goes Cole Cabrey to the inside.
Cabrey trying to move forward once again in that 13th spot. He's looking for 12th now with Wildravicki up the racetrack. Not going to be able to defend that. That's going to open up the door for Dylan Bates as well. Eric Tracy is there to follow through as well and move Cole Cabrey up into the 12th. Dylan Bates looking for 13th now.
Here comes
Shout out
Eric
to
Tracy
Misty
as well.
Shout out to Misty who's watching, cheering for Grayson Ward. Josh Parrish in the chat. We'll see him tomorrow night. He said he's taking notes right now, and that's a good idea. All those Challenger Series drivers that'll be racing tomorrow night, pay attention to what these guys are doing and see what the pace is going to be, who's going to use up tires, and what you need to do have tires at the end of this 75 lapper.
Well, pay attention to this guy. We're taking a look at the number 13s out front, but Thomas Axum dominated the series last season. Hasn't had the start to this season that he was probably looking for. He is out front right now as he leads Josh Cottle, Daniel Pope, and Jackson Lewis into turn number 3.
Yeah, Jackson Lewis is still really putting a lot of pressure on Daniel Pope. He keeps taking a peek underneath the 31 down the straightaway. Just can't quite get to the side of the 31. Just needs to get his nose underneath him. And right now he's just going to kind of stick in line. But he is really all over the 31 car, just stalking him right now for that third spot.
I called it earlier, Jeff. I said passing would be at a premium here at this racetrack. It's going to be tough to pass all night long. Everybody dives for the bottom. I think it's going to take a little while for these tires to start to go away before you see some cars starting to cut underneath other cars. And there's a car I'm a little bit nervous about, Jeff. He is not moving forward yet. The 8 car. He was the quickest in practice and qualifying. Actually, in qualifying. And he looks to be saving tires. That's not what I want to see from Alex McCollum. I'd prefer him to burn his tires off.
Well, Jackson Lewis is trying to move forward. He is underneath Daniel Pope, but he was not able to complete the pass. Pope is going to pull ahead down the back straightaway, hold on to the 3rd spot for the time being. Jackson Lewis back into the 4th spot right now. And as you said, Alex McCollum, it seems like he's just kind of riding there in 6th. He's just content to kind of follow this lead battle, keep pace with the 13. We talk about passing being difficult, but Cole Cabrey, he got around Kelsey Rogers, so he's now up to 11th. He started 24th. And he has really just flown through the field.
Yeah, Cole Cabrey starting to close on Caden Fisher. Caden Fisher running in the top 10 right now in the 10th position, but he has lost touch with the cars in front of him. Corey Bigley out there quite a bit from Caden Fisher. Caden Fisher taking a high arc into turn number 3. See him slide up in that 18 car, already sliding this car through the corners.
And I can tell you, Peter Fisher has gone ahead and called it a night, so he will finish in the 25th position. As we said, he had quite a few stitches in his hand as he was working on Caden Fisher's real-life street stock car. I believe they call it a Tiger car out there in Vermont, and had a little bit of a incident there on that. And we're glad Pete's okay, but he's going to take a little easy on his hand. He sliced his hand open pretty good.
Caden Fisher way up the racetrack. He's going to give that 10th position to Cole Cabry. Cole Cabry going to go by in the 54. Here comes Kelsey Rogers behind him. Cannot make the move on Caden. Caden back down into turn number 1. Cole Cabry going to set his sights a little bit farther down the track. You can see there's quite a gap there. Corey Bigley's taken off a bit in the 9th spot.
To move Cabry up into 10th, and as we said, he has just moved through the field, started 24th, flew up into the 10th spot. Now they're just going to get more difficult to pass, though. Every time he makes a move, it just gets a little bit faster and faster cars ahead of him. And right now we got a battle further back. Dell Mears trying to get around Will Jervicki. Mears moving up into the 16th position that time. And Dell, I was looking at the stats going into this week. Dell's really good at these speedway type tracks. This is where he really kind of comes to life in this series. And he's got a couple good finishes at Iowa, a couple good finishes at Richmond. And this is going to be the kind of racetrack I think is going to suit Dell Mears.
You're watching him right now in the 112th, running the 16, 112 running the 16th spot. Looked a little loose through turns 3 and 4 there. He's got it back underneath him as, whoa, gets onto the apron heading into turn number 1. I think we spotlighted him, Jeff, and he heard us. He's kind of all over the place at the moment.
Well, we just had a battle at the front of the field. Jackson Lewis was able to get around Daniel Pope. That actually kind of slowed the momentum of Grayson Ward, and Alex McCollum snuck by Grayson Ward. So move McCollum up to 5th, Jackson Lewis into the 3rd spot. Daniel Pope holding on to 4th right now, but now he's got that 8 car. Alex McCollum, your quick qualifier, sitting right behind him.
Kind of got a bit of a 9-car breakaway right now, Jeff. Bo Ledbetter's there. He's a little bit, 5 car lengths or so farther back from the top. Was that top 7? See Parker Traves there in the 60. He's in the 7th spot. He's right in this choo-choo train. Then you got Bo Ledbetter just a little bit farther back, Corey Bigley a little farther back from them, and then that's that big gap down back to Cole Cabry. These top 7 guys right now, and then those 2 trailers right there, we'll call them the 2 caboose cars, as they're within striking distance. This group of guys just broke away from the entire field.
Yeah, we're going to see Cole Cabry if he can actually make up some ground here and catch this lead group kind of in no man's land all by himself back there in 10th. Maybe kind of hoping for a caution could reset this field. That'd be a huge break for him. Here comes Alex McCollum up the inside of Daniel Pope. He's going to take a look into turn 1. He's got the position. Now Grayson Ward going to try to fill that gap as well. Ward to the inside. Can Pope clear him off too? I don't think so. Looks like Grayson Ward's going to pick up a spot as well.
I think there might have been a shot given. I saw Daniel Pope get a little bit loose off of turn number 4. So I wonder if Daniel Pope had got a little bit of a bump. You see Parker Traves going to try to make the move on Grayson Ward. He's to the left rear. Ooh, that's sketchy driving right there. He does a great job as he's still alongside. He just barely is, so Grayson's going to have to yield. Parker Traves to the inside. He's going to take that spot.
So Traves now up into the 5th position. Grayson Ward had just picked up that position, and Traves just took advantage. He's able to get past Grayson Ward. Daniel Pope now trying to put the pressure back on Ward as well, but no going there. And Ward looks like he's going to take a peek underneath the 60 as well, coming off turn 4. He's not quite done yet, but that's going to let this front group get away. They've kind of lost a lot of ground battling like that.
Yeah, I think what happened is Traves feared the crossover and checked up just a little bit to make sure that Grayson Ward couldn't cross him over onto the backstretch. So that kind of broke their momentum as they ended up side by side down the back straightaway. Daniel Pope had to slow up as well, not to kind of put himself in a poor position. And that's kind of let the other cars broken away. Up front, though, Jackson Lewis just moved by Josh Cottle. And Cottle slipped back behind McCollum as well. So McCollum was able to walk through that door as well. Moved Jackson Lewis up to 2nd.
Yeah, Jackson is really on the move right now. He has got a ton of speed, and he is showing it as he works his way forward. Started 6th tonight after the invert, up into the 2nd spot, bringing along tonight's quick qualifier and International Short Track Association Quick Time Award winner Alex McCollum. Josh Cottle back into that 4th spot. Still, it's Thomas Axum out front, about 3/10 of the lead now over Jackson Lewis. And as we said, that battle is still heating up. Grayson Ward is on the outside of Parker Traves off turn 4. These guys are still side by side. Nobody wants to give up this 5th spot.
Here comes Daniel Pope to the inside of Grayson Ward. Ooh, almost contact down through 1 and 2. Really tight racing. Grayson Ward not in a position you want to be in. And here the other. Oh, as we have contact. Grayson Ward gave a little bit of a shoulder block to Bo Ledbetter as they went down the back straightaway. Ledbetter had to check up just a little bit to get into turn number 3. Here's Corey Bigley in the 28 as well. Ooh, things get a little testy around here as we're 25 laps, 26 laps into this race, and guys starting to want to go forward.
Yeah, still very, very early. We're only about a third of the way through this thing, and right now these guys are starting to really sort themselves out. Parker Traves got up into the 5th spot, and he's starting to put a gap now on Daniel Pope. So Traves maybe trying to maybe seeing that lead group start to get away, thinking maybe he needs to get past these guys and get going if he wants to keep up. As we said, this race has a tendency 2 times now has gone caution free here. So maybe these guys don't think a yellow is coming, and you just can't afford to lose touch with the rest of the field. Oh, we got trouble down the front straightaway. Del Mears into the wall down the front straightaway. He's going to keep that car straight, but he is off the pace going into 1, and he's going to make contact with Devin Rogers. Rogers might spin this thing in turn 1 and 2, and he does. Around he goes. Still no caution just yet.
Yeah, no cars around for Devin Rogers to even get a yellow, so he's going to be way off the back of the field now in the 25 car. We saw Del Mears get sideways and hit the wall off of turn number 2. I'm not sure why Devin Rogers ended up making contact with him entering turn 1. That seemed kind of weird.
Yeah, it seemed like Del, he was down on the bottom side of the racetrack, way off the pace, was trying to get out of the way, and he entered in the groove. You really got to bring that car down to the inside wall going into turn 1, and he just was kind of in the groove, and Devin Rogers just not enough time to react. They kind of made contact, and I got the 25 spun out, but still no caution. We kept going. Devin going to rejoin in the 24th position, last car on the lead lap. And right now still under green. Thomas Axum out in front, but Jackson Lewis, he has gotten to the back bumper now of that 13. Your leader is under pressure.
Jackson Lewis towing Alex McCollum and Josh Cottle. Cottle now about 3 car lengths back of McCollum.
And caution is out now. And it looks like Will Jervicki might have went around in the middle of 3 and 4.
Take a look and see what happened to Will. He's got damage on the left front of that number 30 machine.
So we're going to get a look at the replay, and I think it might have happened right in front of him, and he just kind of got involved here.
Yeah, it looks like AJ Rogers might have gotten into Eric Tracy.
Yeah, a little contact with AJ Rogers and Eric Tracy. Got Eric Tracy turned around in that 67. Will Jervicki was just in the middle of that group and just nowhere to go as he checked up. Aaron Johnson got into the back of him, turned the 30 around.
Some guys really needed this yellow. We can see it looks like Eric just doesn't get into turn 3 very well, but AJ, I guess he expected him to get it even better than he thought. He's struggling. Nah, I got him. This is a C-car don't hit car situation there, Jeff.
Yeah, Eric got up the racetrack just a bit, but Eric kind of stayed up the racetrack. That was the thing. It wasn't
odd.
Like he, yeah, it just I almost kind of feel like AJ maybe was watching the 67 and he too kind of drove it in a little too deep because Eric did as well, and just kind of ended up in a bad place at the wrong time. And of course, Will Jervicki just kind of the victim in that one. So under caution, Thomas Axum, your leader. It looks like some guys are going to come down pit road, possibly. Maybe they're just faking us out. They are. Jackson Lewis, Alex McCollum just having some fun with the field there. I was kind of wondering maybe they're going to be short on fuel or something, but they are going to choose to stay out. So just a little bit game playing there.
No tires available in this series. I was thinking to myself, why? Maybe you're trying to get some weight in the rear end. I don't know, but yeah, I just didn't think they were actually. I didn't think they were actually coming down pit road. They didn't do it. Will Jervicki did take the opportunity to come down pit road, but he does have damage in the 30 car, so you'll see him on pit road fixing that left front.
Well, the guy that this caution will benefit is Cole Cabry. Again, we talked about him, started 24th. He is up to the 10th spot. Was kind of on his own there. He had lost touch with the front of the field, getting through the back half of the field. and now it's going to just bunch everybody back up. So he's going to be right back with the rest of the group, and Cole Cabry's kind of worked himself into a good spot here.
Well, now it's going to give the tires an opportunity to cycle. You need a heat cycle on your tires now, so everything's going to change for these drivers. The car's probably going to drive just a little bit different. Take a look at some of the cars. Actually, we'll take a look at Will as he gets back on the racetrack. Wasn't able to fix much of the damage on that left front. You see that's pretty beat still. Devin Rogers had more damage as well. He didn't even take the opportunity to fix anything in the 25 after he made contact with Del Mears. Del Mears still sticking with his damage as well. So a lot of cars, Jeff, that were kind of running in the back and had an opportunity to fix some of their damage, they didn't do so.
Yeah, just a kind of a tough break for some of them with damage. I guess they were afraid about losing a lap here. Obviously, lucky dogs aren't going to be prevalent if we don't have a lot of caution, so you really don't want to lose a lap, but at the same time, you really got to get that damage fixed. We know with this car, especially front-end damage, how much it can abuse the tires, really change your tire wear, and right now, we're getting set to go back green flag racing. There's no time to get it fixed now. Pace car's heading off the racetrack, and Thomas Axum going to take us back to green flag racing. Axum got a fantastic restart. He will be clear of the 7 of Lewis going into turn 1. It's between Cottle and Alex McCollum. Now McCollum gets that 3rd spot. Here comes Traves. He's looking underneath Cottle for the 4th position now. And it looks like Cottle's going to hold on.
Oh, big wreck. Grayson Ward upside down. Jeff flipping down the back straightaway. Oh, he has many cars underneath him. Cole Cabry, I think, was involved in that as well. Sorry to interrupt you, Jeff, but Grayson Ward just took a ride and destroyed the number 9.
Yeah, that is a heartbreaker for Grayson Ward. He has been running in the top 10 all night long. Kind of slipped back there on that restart, and he got some contact from behind. That was Cole Cabry that got into him, and just nothing that Grayson could do there. Once he got tapped coming off the corner, that thing just kind of made a hard turn to the right.
Oh, my goodness. Cole Cabry, your point leader, big-time damage as well. Looks like Aaron Johnson caught in that one in the 21 car. Oh, Grayson Ward, that's not how you wanted to see his night come to a close. So he probably will stay out there if he can get that car to drive. But he just had to check up a little bit. And Cole, I mean, he got to the back of Bo Ledbetter. Nowhere for Grayson to go.
And Grayson enters tonight 7th in the standing, so he's right there in that mix for a playoff spot. So points are going to be important. I think he's going to come down pit road, try to repair some damage. We know sometimes these late models can be tanks.
Well, right now Grayson's saying tanks for nothing, right? No, I'm kidding. That's terrible. But yeah, bad damage for the 9 car. You don't want to see that. But caution's breeding cautions, Jeff.
Yeah, it's unfortunate right there on that restart. Just kind of set that off. And we talked about Cole Cabry had such a great run going from deep in this field up to the 10th spot. It's not over yet. There's still plenty of time, but that's a tough way to kind of get here in this middle of this race, back in the 23rd spot on pit road with damage. And unfortunately, he's going to have to start all over from the rear of the field. Talking about the point standings, Cole Cabry, we said, came into this year points leader. Daniel Pope 2nd. Josh Cottle was 3rd entering tonight. This guy's having great top 5 runs right now. Cottle sitting in the 4th position. Daniel Pope 6th at the moment. We are missing Blaze Brinkley, who came into this tied with Dustin Monberquette for 5th. Monberquette not here as well tonight.
Yeah, big implications tonight here in Milwaukee, especially point standings wise. I mean, you want to see guys here every week and try to go for this championship here in the late model shootout series, but when you miss a week, that becomes your drop week, and then you're behind the 8 ball all season long. You got to make sure you're almost perfect, and it's difficult to just make it into the playoffs with this quality, this quality field. So you really just don't want to give up an extra week.
Yeah, it's tough, and with only one drop week, it makes it for some of these guys, if you have a bad race or you're on vacation, you miss a night, it can really be devastating to making that top 8 in the series standings and having a chance at the playoff. One of those drivers not here tonight, Brett Suggs as well. He was part of our Final Four last season, and he's missed 2 races now just with other things going on. And right now, Brett's kind of in a hole. He's going to have to win a lot of races to get into that top 8.
Yeah, I don't know. Did Brett? I don't know. We talked to him. I don't know if he said that he was going to miss. He probably did.
Yeah, he said he was going to miss this week in his interview last week. So just other things going on. I think real racing stuff probably.
Yeah, Brett's pretty involved with the racing and marketing that he's got going on. He's got that pro truck that he drives, and then also a lot of marketing stuff that he's doing for a bunch of different drivers. So he probably has a lot of things going on in his life, at least real racing wise. We totally understand that. We would never expect sim racing to take the top spot over anything you're doing in a real racing career. Although it might, you know.
Well, here we go. Pace car lights are off. They're gonna head. Pace car is gonna head off the racetrack. Thomas Axum gonna have a single file restart. We did not complete a lap that time before that caution waved. So single file restart. This is gonna be interesting because this is really gonna spread everybody out. And here we go. Green flag is out. Axum with 3-4 car length advantage at the start finish line ahead of Jackson Lewis. Nobody really taking a look into turn 1. Everybody's gonna stay single file for the time being.
Down the back straightaway, the field snakes around. Looks like Corey Bigley slipped a little bit. He's running in the 8th spot. He's already lost a little bit of ground to Bo Ledbetter. Bo Ledbetter has big damage on the front of the 78 Jeff. He got caught in that wreck. Obviously hit something in front of him as he's got a lot of damage on the front end.
Caden Fisher behind Corey Bigley and Kelsey Rogers there as well. You saw Rogers almost kind of had to check up a little bit for Caden Fisher going into turn 1. He's going to get a nice run down the back straightaway. Not going to quite get there into turn 3, but he's definitely putting the pressure on Caden right now. Kelsey running in the 10th position. As we said, he had his career best finish last week at Stafford. So Kelsey really starting to come alive here in the late model shootout series. He's looking very, very strong. The guy behind him, he's in the points battle. That's Dylan Bates. He's currently 4th in the series standings coming into tonight. Not having a great night at Milwaukee. Just wasn't very fast in practice, and right now kind of running in the 11th position. So maybe just not the type of track that Dylan Bates likes.
You know, it's a flat super speedway. Kind of like driving in a giant parking lot. Stafford, we had a shorter parking lot last week. Now we were in a flat big track. So Dylan, maybe not. It's odd. Dylan likes really short tracks, Jeff. We've seen him do really well at the quarter-mile racetracks. So I think mile racetracks probably aren't his cup of tea.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Some of these guys, what we talked about in the warm-up, have a little, or in the preview earlier, they have some speedway experience. They run other things like Alex McCollum, former Pro Series driver. He's used to racing big tracks, keeping the momentum up and that kind of racing. And right now it's showing. He's currently running in the 3rd spot. As Jackson Lewis is really starting to put the pressure on Thomas Axum. A couple laps ago, I saw Axum. He had to kind of make a move to the inside of the racetrack, protect the bottom from Jackson Lewis. So right now, I think Thomas Axum kind of watching more in the mirror, trying to see what that 7 and the 8 are up to back there.
Well, we're starting to creep up on go time, Jeff. We've already gotten 44 laps down. We're about to complete lap number 45. Actually, complete 44 onto 45. And so we're well over halfway. These guys starting to think about the closing stages of this race. A long race here at Milwaukee, but it is moving quickly. So these guys really start to have to think about whether or not they have a car to move forward.
Your running order right now: Thomas Axum, Jackson Lewis, Alex McCollum, Josh Cottle in the 4th spot. Parker Traves currently running 5th. Daniel Pope 6th. Bo Ledbetter 7th. Got a little bit of a gap back to Corey Bigley and Caden Fisher running 8th and 9th. Kelsey Rogers in the 10th spot. Dylan Bates 11th is putting the pressure on Kelsey for that 10th position. Eric Tracy running 12th. Zach Onan 13th. Colby Bryant 14th. Elliot Carlson, Rick Rube, Aaron Abendroth, Devin Rogers, Cole Carey back up in the 19th now, and Will Dravicki currently rounds out your top 20. I believe Grayson Ward has gone ahead and called it a night. He is going to finish in the 24th position. That car currently sitting on pit road with a ton of damage, so I think that might be the end of the night for Grayson.
Yeah, tough night for the 9 car. He was running up front all night long. Just a restart caught him out. A little bit of contact from behind. And the car just got sideways up into the wall and ends up doing the flip. Not something you want to see. It's the top 5 have kind of broken away here, Jeff. They're putting a gap on Daniel Pope in 6th. That's going to be Axum, Jackson Lewis, Alex McCollum, Josh Cottle, and Parker Traves. That top 5. They've kind of gotten away from everybody. And now Traves looking to make a move on Josh Cottle as it's, like we said, it's go time. It's time to start moving these cars forward. If you have anything to do, or anything you've got in that car, any kind of tire left, it's time to start figuring it out because you got to get forward and try to, ooh, and Traves all the way up on the grass going into turn number 3.
Yeah, that cost him a lot of time there. He lost touch with Josh Cottle, so Traves just kind of out in no man's land there. Did not mean to do that, I don't think, and so he lost some time. He's going to have to reel back in that 13 car.
We really haven't seen it yet, Jeff. We're going to get there. We're in lap 50, so the cars are starting to drive poorly. It's a lot worse than they did at the beginning of the race, and we're going to see if anybody used up their tires a little too much. You're going to start to see those cars start to slip and slide. And they'll start sliding backwards. But right now up front, everybody's kind of running the same speed, so unless you were overdriving the car to stay up there, probably have what the guy in front of you or behind you has if you haven't had to make a whole lot of passes. But Parker Traves, he's moved forward in that 60 car. Now Alex McCollum has done the same. He had to start 7th, so he's up to 3rd. You see, he's starting to make moves on Jackson Lewis. Nobody's made a move on our leader yet, Jeff. Do you think Jackson or Alex has anything for Thomas Axum?
Well, Jackson definitely seems to have a little bit more speed, and maybe just kind of riding behind the 13 at this point, maybe trying to keep Alex at bay. But when Jackson loses ground to Thomas, he's able to pull it right back to the back bumper of the 13. So right now, that 7 car looks very, very sporty. Alex McCollum as well, I think he's just kind of content to ride where he's at right now. I think Alex might have a little bit more in the tank as well to use. And of course, we got to wonder about Josh Cottle. We saw last week he was one of those guys that kind of fell off, saving tires at Stafford, came alive late into that run, and I would expect the 13 might be doing the same thing right now.
So what if you're Jackson Lewis, what's your plan? You've got the Quick Time Award winner behind you. You've got Thomas Axum, 2-time series champion, in front of you. And you know these guys are both savvy veterans, right? So what is your plan with Thomas Axum? Are you trying to make the perfect move so that he can't cross you over, and then now that opens the door for a McCollum, and now you're going to find yourself in 3rd?
Well, I mean, ideally, if you think you're faster than Thomas Axum, you'd like to get around Thomas without allowing Alex McCollum to get around him. That would be the ideal situation, but getting that done is really difficult. If you shuffle Thomas to the outside, he's likely going to lose another spot or two. So right now, Jackson, maybe he just thinks he's going to wait until the end, maybe try to make a run late in this run, and look like Thomas Axum might have got the wall down the back straightaway. Maybe just tapped it a bit.
Well, consider this, Jeff. Look at the gap between the top 5 that we saw breaking away and Daniel Pope. Daniel Pope is starting to what is the word? Is starting to reel that group back in. I wonder if Thomas Axum and Jackson Lewis are perhaps struggling just a little bit, as you see McCollum give a little bit of a shot to Jackson Lewis to let him know it's go time, bud, or else I'm going to be up your back bumper. He just gave him a little bump through turns 1 and 2. That's McCollum letting you know it is time to move, so Jackson Lewis is going to have to ratchet it up just a little bit. I wonder if Axum is slowing these guys down just a tick, because nobody's falling behind.
Oh, and the caution is going to wave here. So lap 54 caution. I'm looking
Kelsey
around
Rogers.
the track. Yeah, Kelsey Rogers, who was in the top 10 all night long, goes around. And that's kind of a heartbreaker right there for Kelsey. He doesn't look like he has much damage, so we're going to have to get a look on the replay what might have happened there to the 34.
Got a little bit of help. Not much. But Dylan Bates gets into the back of the 34 car. Kelsey has it. Wow, he drove it for half the corner, saved. And then spun her around.
Yeah, you called it there. Dylan Bates just kind of gets in there. He looked like he backed off, and then all of a sudden he got off the brakes, rolled that car in, and just tapped the 34. Kelsey, he saved it for as long as he could, and then it finally goes around. Luckily, nobody gets into him, so not too much damage on the 34, but that is going to send him and Dylan Bates to the rear of the field there.
And I think we got some guys a little bit nervous about fuel, Jeff. Aaron Abendroth on pit road. Devin Rogers is on pit road. And I think they're just getting splash and goes here as they might be a little bit low.
Well, if you're, I mean, you're where they are on the racetrack. They were towards the tail end of the lead lap. There's no harm in doing it. You might as well get that fuel and hope for maybe some green white checkers that kind of run the guys out front out of gas, right?
It's also going to change the way that this car acts on the racetrack. It's going to change the weight of the race car. So if you liked it with a little more fuel in it, it's going to change it to more of your liking. Maybe it'll give you a little bit more speed as we head into the closing stages of this race.
So Thomas Axum out front, going to get another caution here, a lap 54 caution. That did send Dylan Bates to the rear of the field for breeding that one out. Kelsey Rogers going to join him back there. And that's going to move Eric Tracy up into the top 10. So Eric Tracy into the 10th spot. Zach Oden 11th. Colby Bryant 12th. Elliot Carlson. Rick Rube. Cole Cavery back up to 15th. Again, he had that penalty just a bit ago. He's trying to work his way forward once again. Shout out to Cheyenne, who was cheering for Dylan, and I think right about the time that caution came out. So Dylan going to head to the rear of the field in the 21st position. Now, I believe, might end up falling back to 23rd once that penalty sorts itself out. Only 2 cars out of this race. That's Peter Fisher and Grayson Ward. And we should see pace car lights go off this time. It'll be Thomas Axum, Jackson Lewis, Alex McCollum, and Bill. This will be a double file restart, so it's going to put Jackson on the outside, and he's going to need a heck of a restart here to keep that 8 car behind him.
Well, we've seen the outside be able to do that. On the opening start, you saw Josh Cottle was able to get in behind Thomas Axum, so Jackson, if he's on his game, can beat Alex McCollum down into turn number 1. But Alex, savvy veteran, we're going to have to watch to see how that works out, as Jackson Lewis seemed to have a fast car in that number 7, just not able to put the move on Thomas Axum. Now he's caught on the outside, so this could be an interesting restart, Jeff. This is going to basically, make it, I guess, for all the marbles, to be honest, because if Alex McCollum ends up in second, he is probably going to be all over Thomas Axum.
And don't count out Parker Traves. He is back there in that 3rd row as well with Daniel Pope, Josh Cottle in the 2nd row outside alongside Alex McCollum. Here we go. Thomas Axum going to bring him down. Pace car's going to head off the racetrack. It looks like we almost lost Jackson Crowder there for a second, and that might have just mistimed his start because he is barely going to be able to pull in front of the 8. If he can, he cannot. McCollum is there side by side, and Axum loves to see this. They are side by side behind him.
Jackson Lewis going to drive hard off of turn number 2. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway. You said it. This is something that Axum wants to see, battling for the 2nd position. Let's see what Jackson Lewis can do on the top side. It is dangerous to pinch somebody down here at Milwaukee. That car slips at all. They're in your door.
Well, if there's anybody you can trust to not get into, it's Alex McCollum, I would think. I mean, he's so good. I mean, he's not going to slip up off the bottom, but he does finally clear Jackson Lewis. Now here comes Parker Traves in the 60. He is trying to get the 3rd spot. Lewis sideways off 2. He is trying to get the power down, but it is just so tough from the outside line.
Yeah, everybody just sliding around with these cars now. Tires worn. Now Parker Traves to the inside of Jackson Lewis. Jackson Lewis on the outside. We call it the sucker hole. It's definitely that here at Milwaukee. Down into turn number 1 is where it seems like the outside loses the most. You just can't pinch. There's no real line. You're just trying to figure out how to get in there, and then you just lose a whole bunch of ground through turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 doesn't seem to do too bad. It's 1 and 2 that is the problem.
Traves finally able to clear Jackson Lewis. That opens up the door for Josh Cottle. Lewis just cannot get to the bottom. Now here comes another car up the inside. He's trying to edge in front of Josh Cottle, but not going to be able to do it. Coming down the front straightaway, they're going to be side by side. Bo Ledbetter is going to line up behind him as well, so it might not be over for Jackson Lewis if he can't get in front of this 13.
Ledbetter was able to get by Daniel Pope on that restart. Jackson Lewis got to be thinking to himself, why me? Why am I the guy that's stuck on the outside? How come somebody couldn't let me in? Why couldn't somebody slip? So far, nobody's doing it as Josh Cottle up the inside down the back straightaway.
Jackson is really doing his work out there on the outside line. He's been able to maintain better than anybody I've seen all night long. So doing what he can to hold off these cars coming on the inside, but Cottle's going to clear that time. Here comes Bo Ledbetter now in the 78. He is looking for the 5th spot.
Yeah, sometimes you just wonder if it's a good idea just to let him go. There was a gap between Cottle and Ledbetter there for a little bit, but just being side by side with him slowed Cottle down just enough that Ledbetter got there. And now Jackson Lewis into the wall down the back straightaway. Here comes Daniel Pope to the inside, and now Jackson Lewis going to find his way in. That's into the 7th spot. So Lewis on that restart all the way back from 2nd to 7th.
Lewis at least able to stop the bleeding now. Can he work his way back forward past these drivers? He's going to maybe take a look underneath Daniel Pope here. Going to wait a little bit. And right now, Alex McCollum is starting to chase down Thomas Axum. It is down to 1/10 of a second there. That lead Thomas Axum built up as McCollum and Lewis were side by side. It is evaporated. Alex McCollum is there. He is knocking on the door now.
We talked about it on that restart. If Alex McCollum was given an opportunity to jump to the 2nd spot, he would be all over your leader, and he is. You see him come off of turn number 4. But Axum gets off of turn number 4 so nicely there as he comes off with a little bit of a low exit and is able to gap Alex McCollum just a little bit down the front straightaway. But a half a car length separates your leaders. Parker Traves in 3rd.
Traves doing a fantastic job as well. Going to keep an eye on lap times right now to see who is the fastest car on the racetrack. But Alex McCollum, he's been able to chase down Thomas Axum. Axum out front. Parker Traves in that 3rd spot behind him. He is trying to put some distance on Josh Cottle. Bo Ledbetter up to 5th. Daniel Pope still 6th. Jackson Lewis hanging on to the 7th position. Corey Bigley running 8th. Caden Fisher 9th. Cole Cabrey back into the 10th spot. So Cabrey kind of recovered after that early penalty.
Turns 3 and 4, Jeff, and we see Alex McCollum is still there, sliding off of turn number 4, trying to get as much as he can out of that number 8. He's trying to make it back-to-back victories in the late model shootout series as Axum trying to hold him off. I don't think Traves is really closing that gap. He's not that far behind, so if these guys have any shenanigans up front, Traves will be there for the win.
Last time off turn 4, Alex McCollum used every last bit of racetrack. I mean, he swung that thing all the way to the wall coming off turn 4. And right now he is all over the mirror, the 13 of Thomas Axum. Axum going to have to get defensive here. He's not going to be able to swing that car as wide into entry now because McCollum can put his nose there. And going into turn 1, Thomas Axum going to have to defend the bottom, keep that car pinned on the yellow line.
Through turns 1 and 2, Thomas Axum trying to keep the car tight. Gets a nice run down the back straightaway. It leads by a car length on the straightaway. McCollum going to dive it in turn number 3, try to get back to the back bumper of Thomas Axum, continue to put pressure on the leader.
We were wondering that last time by, fastest car on the racetrack was Parker Traves, the guy in 3rd. He is starting to reel those top 2 in. So Traves' car is starting to come to life here at the end.
Jackson Lewis rallying back. Here he comes underneath Daniel Pope. We saw him falling back earlier. He was running 6th. Now he's battling back into the top 5. He's already gone by Ledbetter. Now he's going to make the move on Pope. So back in the top 5. Jackson Lewis, that restart caught him out, but here he comes moving back forward.
That last time by, the 13 car, Josh Cottle, he was the fastest car on the racetrack. Your 4th place runner is also gaining on these top drivers. So Josh Cottle not out of the mix as we come by 6 to go this time.
Everybody's giving it everything they possibly can this time. Here you can see Parker Traves starting to move on your 2 leaders as he's not letting them get away. You talked about it, Jeff. Josh Cottle's fast too, so these top 4 might be a little bit of a rubber band situation. We might see them come together by the end of this one.
Yeah, Cottle was once again the fastest car on the racetrack that time by Thomas Axum of the top 4. He was the slowest of the top 4. So being out front, not the advantage right now. Alex McCollum is all over his back bumper. You see Axum move down low, try to defend. Here comes McCollum up the inside. He's going to have to back out of it into 1.
Barney had 5 fingers in the air, 5 to go in this race. Alex McCollum trying to do something with your leader, Thomas Axum, not able to do so far. That brought Parker Traves into the mix, and here comes Josh Cottle. So all 4 cars, you can almost throw a blanket over them as we head into turn 3.
Yeah, Cottle still the fastest car on the racetrack as they crossed the stripe last time. Coming by this time, they're going to see the 5 to go, or 4 to go rather. McCollum gets the wall off turn 4. That's going to slow his momentum.
McCollum, a little bit of an error in the number 8 machine as he was sliding it off of turn 4, got it up into the wall. That broke his momentum. Now Thomas Axum able to pull away just a little bit. All 4 cars down the back straightaway. This is going to be the battle for the win. These 4 guys, Jackson Lewis a little bit too far back, so it's going to be one of these 4 going to take the victory tonight at Milwaukee.
And last time they crossed the stripe, Thomas Axum was the fastest car. So now he is out front trying to get away. McCollum, you can see that car sliding off turn 4. He's doing everything he can to chase down the 13.
Looking for an exciting finish here in the Jeff By Jr. Art number 75 with only 3 to go. Make it 2.5 as we hit the back straightaway. Alex McCollum trying to do everything he can. Parker Traves doing the same in the 60, and Josh Cottle in the 13 as well. It's 13 bookends as we've got Thomas Axum out front, Cottle in fourth. Right now, here we go off of turn number 4 once again. Let's see if McCollum can make any kind of run. You can see both cars dancing as they come off of 4.
Yeah, the tires are gone at this point. Everybody's just holding on for dear life. McCollum, the fastest car that time by, and he really did gain on Thomas Axum. He was able to cut into that lead just slightly. And right now with 2 to go, they're going to come around to see the white flag next time by. Thomas Axum still out front. McCollum is there, though. Can he get to the 13? Can he make a run at the win as they're going to see the white flag off turn 4?
Off of turn number 4, Barney's going to have the white flag in the air. There it is. Thomas Axum takes the white flag. McCollum on the inside entering turn 1. Can't make the move. He's going to slide way up the racetrack. I think something just happened to Alex McCollum.
McCollum just clipped the inside wall going into turn 1, damaged the car, the left front tire. Thomas Axum is now driving away with this one. Out front, no one behind him is Parker Traves was kind of slowed up by that. Here we go off turn 4. And your winner, Thomas Axum, going to win the Jeff By Jr. Art 75. Second place going to go to Parker Traves. Third place to Josh Cottle. Jackson Lewis rebounds for a 4th. Daniel Pope, top 5.
Finishing in the 6th position, you got a group of cars here. Bo Ledbetter, 6. Corey Bigley with a great run tonight in the 28 car in 7th. Caden Fisher, another good run for him. He runs 8th. Cole Cabry rallied back to the 9th position. Eric Tracy also rallied as well as we saw him backwards late in the race. He finished 10th. Aaron Johnson will come home 11th. Kelsey Rogers, 12th. Dylan Bates, 13th. Zach Owen, 14th. And Colby Bryant rounds out the top 15.
AJ Rogers going to finish 16th. Elliot Carlson, Rick Rue, Wilger Vicky, Dale Mears, your top 20. Aaron Avendraw, 21st. Devin Rogers. Alex McCollum going to wind up 23rd. He was not able to limp that car back around. That is a heartbreaker for McCollum, and a big factor in the points. Alex needed points. He missed the season opener, and that's not the way to do it. They're finishing 23rd tonight. Grayson Ward finishes 24th. Peter Fisher, the first car out of this one, going to finish in the 25th position tonight. But Thomas Axum going to pick up his first win of the season. Bill, that's 3 winners in 3 races. Just fantastic competition so far this season.
Well, that is what we want to see, right, Jeff? That is the kind of competition we look for here in the late model shootout series. And we're seeing it so far. Super exciting season. I will have to figure out what happened to Alex McCollum in that race. But boy, you said it. That's a huge point implications as he fell all the way back to the back of the field after running second and trying to battle for that win. But good to see Thomas Axum once again in victory lane.
Well, we're going to take an opportunity to talk to our third place driver, Josh Cottle. This is the first time we got to talk to Josh, but Josh, at some points there in the final about 5-6 laps, you were the fastest car on the racetrack running 4th. What did you need there to be able to get to the front?
I struggled on throttle. I just feel like I couldn't get on the throttle like those guys could. They were sideways off exit. I just had nothing for them. I was fast, but Axum was flying. Same with Traves.
Well, Josh, it's your first podium finish this season, which gives you an opportunity to talk to us. I know you're honored. I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it. Man, great start to the season. You're doing well in the number 13 car, and now you've got your first podium. How long do you think it's going to be before we're talking about you on the top step?
I don't know. I'm not really good at these big tracks. I'm hopefully soon, though.
Well, Josh, we know you're kind of new to the series. I kind of wonder what brought you over to the fixed setup stuff in ITZR this season.
I just wanted some practice. I want to get better in these cars for Sarah and officials and stuff like that. And Brett Suggs also talked me into it. Thank you, Brett.
Yes, thank you, Brett. We appreciate you get the BSRM logo on the hood. We're big fans of Brett Suggs over here, and we're glad that he's bringing friends over, so that's cool. So we go from the Milwaukee Mile, which is an odd track for super late models to run at. We don't run it very often, and next week we go to a road course. Josh, how do you feel about your road course racing chops?
Honestly, I'm very excited. I think I have a shot there for at least a podium. I've ran one road course race in the SLM before, and I was pretty fast. I think it's gonna be really fun. Lots of sideways battling. Pretty pretty excited.
Well, Josh, we want to give everybody a chance when we get to talk to them to thank all the people they need to thank. We know you got a lot of names on your car, so go ahead, give them all a shout out right now.
I want to thank y'all for doing the broadcast and ITZR. This is a very fun league. I'm glad I'm able to run it full time this season. Thank you to Brett. I appreciate him. Cox Motorsport, Hangout Chat Motorsports, and Rocket iRace Wraps.
Perfect, Josh. It's good to finally talk to you in a good situation, right? So
Sir,
congratulations tonight, top 3, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the road course next week.
thank you, man.
Well, now we get a chance to talk to our race winner tonight. It is Thomas Axum, our reigning defending series champion. Took you 3 races. You finally got your first win of the season here at Milwaukee, and you did it. You led every single lap tonight. How's that feel?
Yeah, I was really just hoping. I was in 6th in qualifying. Needed one more to bump me down for the invert because I knew I wasn't going to be too hot with the quick lap, but like last week. But hit the invert, and if you start first, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it hard, and we were able to do that. And I'm not going to let no one by if they start me first. I'm not going to let no one by for that.
Well, we didn't think we were going to see anybody. Well, it wasn't necessarily that we'd see anybody pass you, Thomas, but we didn't think you'd be letting anybody go. But it's got to feel good, man. It's been a little bit. You've had a rough start to the season, and as far as Thomas Axum goes, how does it feel good? How does it feel to get back to victory lane?
Yeah, I'm ready to just be consistent again. I don't have to win every week. I don't need to finish in the top 3 every week, but I need to finish and be in the top, I'd say at least 7, 8, just so I can get into the points and then really focus on the playoffs. I like the playoff system that we have. That just top 8 need to be in there, and then we can just work on eliminating cars every week and just keeping your head above the water until it's final week, and just hopefully we get there. But definitely a win can start the momentum, and can hopefully I can start my momentum streak of top 5s.
Well, going back to tonight's race, you were out front. How hard is it to set a pace that you're not going to abuse the tires when you're the lead car and everybody's chasing you? And how do you do that? How do you keep an eye on the guys behind you and make sure you're not driving too hard?
Yeah, back in the day, whenever I used to look up and I'd be racing, I'd always make mistakes and get slower. But over time, you can just look up and see who's what, who's where. I knew when Alex got there. Same thing with Jackson. He was on a rail tonight. McCollum on a rail tonight. You just have to judge. Always just want to be. You don't want to. I always say it, and I've been saying it for years. You don't want to be faster than the guy in front of you or behind you. You just need to keep up with him. Stick with his pace, and it just comes with time. And you just keep that relative up. And point two is comfy, but when they're point one away and they're looking, it gets a little sketchy. But you just work with your distance and distance control, manage distance control, and set the pace.
So Milwaukee Mile tonight. Was there some concern with, as you were setting that pace and guys kind of pushing you and you're trying to keep that relative up to, the point two? Was there some concern with tires and maybe, guys are burning tires or you might be burning tires out front?
Yeah, ever since Oxford, I've always thought about that. I was a third place car, and then I almost got lapped on the same run. So tires are huge in my head, but these bigger tracks are just so different with tires. If you just back up your entry and let it roll, like I was getting smoked on entry and center, but when we got to the exit, I feel like I was able to stand on it before everyone else. So you just have to give and take, and I give out my entry and my center to have a good exit, especially at a track like Milwaukee that I wasn't even think I was going to be strong at, just like Dover last season. But we're able to come away and sneak out with a little win.
Well, Thomas, I got to ask going into next week, how do you feel about the road course? What kind of experience do you have doing road racing here on iRacing?
It'll be fun. Definitely glad I was able to speak to you guys this week. Definitely won't be speaking to you guys next week. But I'm definitely I love it. I love a toss up just to have some fun, throw a road course on it. Um, it'll just be fun. It's gonna be like an off week that counts. So definitely gonna have to be there mentally and physically, but we're gonna be there just for fun, having fun with everyone, and then go back to the real racetracks the week after that.
Well, Thomas, you know how we like to end our interviews. We like to give you an opportunity to thank the people that get you here, get you to the top step of the podium. So, who would you like to give a shout out to this week?
Yeah, I've been getting into iRacing last week. Really started getting into it, playing multiple times in a week, not just playing Mondays. So shout out to the RKM squad, Ryan Kuhn, all the guys over there. Jackson Crowder with a good finish tonight. He was on my bumper all night. So shout out to all the RKM boys, Jackson Crowder, Alex McCollum, Cole Cabry didn't have a great night, but he was there and we were just having fun shooting stuff. So just shout out to all the boys that make it fun in the Discord and all the guys in the league. Shout out to all the ITZR guys. You guys put it on, shouting it out in the booth. Love going back and watching them. Huge shout out to Bernier's Liquors, Studio 10 Designs for updating my contingencies so I can get paid if I finish in the top 10 this season. And just you guys for calling the show. Love going back and watching. I can't wait to be here next week.
All right. Thanks so much, Thomas, for taking the time to talk to us. Congratulations. Well done tonight. Another one. You're just racking up the wins in this series now.
Yes, sir. See you guys next week.
Well, now our second place finisher tonight, Parker Traves, and Parker. Towards the end there, you guys were swapping fast laps. You were at one point the fastest car on the racetrack with about 5 laps to go. And what did you need to just be in that right position there to have a shot at Thomas Axum?
I don't think I could have really got to him and passed him cleanly. So just kind of need to be a bit closer. I started too far back on the restart to really have anything for him.
Well, Parker, do you feel like the tires started to give away a little bit? You had some speed there. We started to watch you close down on that top two, that duo, and all of a sudden, just a little bit, the car started to fall off. Were you losing tire there as you went on that last little bit of a run?
No, I don't think it was a tire issue. I just think when I got to him, it just started getting tighter, and then I went back and looked at my tires, and it didn't show tight. So I just think it was maybe aero. So.
Well, Parker, we've been asking everybody tonight that finished in the top 3. What are your thoughts going into next week on the road course? What kind of experience do you have road racing, and how comfortable are you with it?
I'm not very good, so I just hope I finish.
That seems to be a common theme right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is going to be exciting, I think.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of off tracks. I don't think any of us are road course ringers here.
Josh Cottle is excited about the road course, Parker, so that you're going to have to see how fast he is, maybe measure yourself against him.
Well, I may be swatting flies in the back with my teammates. So.
Well, Parker, first time we get to talk to you this season. You've got a lot of stuff going on the real racetrack as well. We like to give people an opportunity to talk about the real racing as well. So why don't you give us some details on that?
Yeah, we've been busy racing at home here in the Canadian Legend Car Series. Been fortunate enough I got to run the summer shootout down in Charlotte last week. That was really fun. But then our main focus is now back to here at home and running for a championship.
Well, Parker, we know you got a lot of people to thank. There's a big group of you over there that kind of get this whole thing done for your team. Go ahead and give them a shout out right now.
Yeah, definitely all the guys that hang out in Discord. They make this all fun every week, and all the 16XCI guys, SPM, you guys for broadcasting. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show, so I appreciate it.
Well, Parker, get your road racing chops together. You're going to be doing the left and right next week. We'll see what you got. Congratulations, P2 this week, and next week another podium.
I hope so. Thank you, guys.
Well, Bill, that is going to wrap it up for tonight. A fantastic race in Milwaukee. These guys did not disappoint. We talked about it, long green flag runs and tire management, and you heard it. I mean, all of them talking about they just weren't close enough to the front, to make anything happen there at the end. It really just kind of a strategy race, what it really came down to.
Yeah, everybody was playing chess out there, Jeff. It was they were definitely kind of looking to see. You heard what in Thomas Axum's interview, what he was doing out there. It's crazy to think that you have time to do that kind of stuff, or at least the ability to do that kind of stuff as you're going around as fast as you possibly can go, right? But he was paying attention to everything that was going on behind him as he's making laps to make sure that he's got the field covered. Hopefully, some people that listen to an interview like that kind of pick up a tip or two on how to manage their way out front. I think I did, Jeff. I don't think that was pretty cool to hear from Thomas Axum.
Yeah, and that's good advice for all the drivers that are going to be doing this again tomorrow night, because we got the late model Challenger Series, the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series will be in action here in the Milwaukee Mile. Another Jeff by Junior Art 75. And Bill, we are going to unleash a bunch of our development drivers here at Milwaukee. They've had a pretty wild first 2 races, so I can only imagine what we're going to see at Milwaukee this week.
Well, I honestly thought this is, and I hate to say I'm not disappointed, Jeff, but I thought we might get a flag-to-flag race tonight. We had some cautions as guys, like we said, it's really, really hard to pass here, and the incidents obviously came when guys got too close into the corners. We saw that the Tuesday night series kind of has the propensity to do that kind of thing on every track right now, so we'll see how this works out tomorrow, but this is a much bigger racetrack for them to kind of stay away from each other. Unfortunately, the line is very narrow, so we'll see what we get tomorrow night.
Yeah, we can't wait to see it. We're expecting probably about 40 drivers, some new signups even this week, some old names returning to the series like Ryan Dunkelberger. I believe Jason Warren's going to be joining us tomorrow night. So really, it's going to be anybody's race. Since the call-ups into the Monday night series, we've seen all kinds of new names running at the front, and I think Milwaukee's going to prove to do the same. I think we're going to see a whole new group of drivers up front tomorrow night.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be an exciting race as we move forward. And the same thing, I mean, you got a lot of guys, really experienced guys that ran tonight that were able to manage their tires really well. I think it's going to be even more difficult for people tomorrow night. Some of the newer guys that aren't used to driving the car quite as much or have as much experience in the car to manage those tires. And we'll see how that goes as the race gets long in the tooth tomorrow night. But I think we're going to have an exciting finish, an exciting race.
Well, you're not going to want to miss it tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on our Twitch. And then, of course, we'll be back live again next Monday night when we go road racing for the first time in Late Model Shootout Series history. That's going to be a thriller because we're going to see a lot of oval drivers trying to turn left and right, and that is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you're watching for that one as well. Follow us on Facebook. Make sure you like and share our stream for us. It helps us out a ton. Thank you to everybody that hung out on Facebook tonight, and we will see you all tomorrow.